Hi, everyone. My name is Marco Abela, and I'm a product manager at Dell Technologies, here to talk to you today about VMware DNA at the heart of a storage solution. VMware has successfully become a key provider to almost any IT shop and data center. Integrations with ESXi, vBalls, VRO, and VRA, and VCF have become must-haves for all storage vendors. But these are things that often come as an afterthought when designing a storage solution rather than built into the very DNA of the storage product. With Dell Technologies PowerStore, we not only support each of these, but VMware is built into the DNA of the product from day zero. Let's talk a little bit more about how PowerStore goes beyond these, including being the only purpose-built array with a built-in VMware hypervisor, an elegant vVol implementation, and vSphere visibility within the PowerStore manager. Let's start with vBalls. PowerStore has a very efficient vVol implementation, which includes some very cool integrations that we have done to give customers the best possible experience with vBalls. The first is a turnkey vVol setup. There's nothing to configure. Simply register your vCenter server, and the PowerStore will take care of the rest, allowing you to use vValls instantly. BOSA provider registration, protocol endpoint creation, storage container creation, and vVol data store creation is automatically handled by the system. In addition, all data services, such as data reduction, are running on vBalls. The next is end-to-end virtual machine visibility. Track capacity utilization, VM compute performance, storage performance, alerting, protection, and individual vBalls that make up a VM, all from within the PowerStore manager. More on that shortly. Next is integration with SPVM. PowerStore exposes its native storage capabilities to VMware via SPVM, starting with quality of service, with more to come. And last is managed snapshot integration. Take snapshots on demand or assign a protection policy of a VM from the PowerStore manager, these are then displayed in the vCenter, or vice versa. When snapshots are taken from vCenter, they're visible and available from the PowerStore manager. Next, let's talk about the Appson capability of PowerStore. PowerStore was built from the ground up with a container-based architecture which runs active-active on each of the two nodes. With the PowerStore Appson deployment, we take the vSphere hypervisor and run it on each of the two nodes, and take the PowerStore operating system and run it on each of the two nodes as a virtual machine, maintaining the same active-active HA capabilities with all the storage services that PowerStore has to offer. What this allows users to do is then run native virtual machines directly on the same appliance as PowerStore. This is ideal for storage-intensive, IO-heavy, data-hungry applications, for infrastructure consolidation use cases, OEM use cases, and with all of this, you have up to 1 petabyte of effective capacity in 2U. Again, ideal for storage-intensive workloads. Now, while it may seem simple to just take the vSphere hypervisor and run it on each of the two nodes, there's a lot more innovation that went on with PowerStore's Appson implementation. With a three-way NDA between Dell, Intel, and VMware, we were able to deliver game-changing capabilities as part of this deployment. First is that we leverage Intel's VMD technology to completely bypass the hypervisor. This enables bare metal NVMe performance with full support for plug-and-play and PCIe fault containment. What this means is that it holds true to PowerStore's general support as a scale-out and scale-up architecture, where single drives can be added to the platform as needed without the need for a reboot. That capacity is made available immediately. Next is there's no noisy neighbor. PowerStore OS resources used for serving storage are separate from user space resources, guaranteeing consistent and predictable storage performance. Next is that the PowerStore X model with Appson is multi-personality, which makes it very unique. And that apart from allowing virtual machines to run on the internal nodes, it also simultaneously acts as a traditional SAN array and being able to serve block workloads to external servers via Fiber Channel and iSCSI, protecting existing infrastructure investments while modernizing. And last, as I've showed before, we have a super tight vVol integration, which is very unique. Let's talk about how some of our customers are using Appson today. Here are 3 examples of PowerStore with Appson being used for edge and robo deployments in order to consolidate infrastructure. In these examples, you can see these 3 customers running 3 to 4 ESX servers in a SAN for a small number of VMs at their robo sites or manufacturing plants. Appson gives them the ability to consolidate into a single 2U platform with shared storage, rich data services, and active-active HA capabilities, all while allowing them to protect their existing investments made in infrastructures because it can also be used as a traditional SAN. Another common sticking point we are seeing is that Appson provides customers the ability to standardize on vSphere versus disparate technologies. We are seeing PowerStore complementing VxRail, with one customer standardizing their core data center on VxRail and their edge sites, which previously ran 3 to 6 ESX hosts with direct attached storage, all onto PowerStore X with Appson. Another customer is running Appson at each of their stores to run their point of sale system after suffering an outage on previous systems, which were local servers with direct attached storage that completely halted sales. They chose PowerStore with Appson because of the small footprint, high availability, and allows their small IT team to standardize on vSphere. Touching more on complementing VxRail, HBL is a bank that standardized on VxRail, but has a use case for storage-intensive workloads, which they purchased PowerStore with Appson for. Because of the common vSphere layer, it enables them to move forward between the 2 as needed, with those VMs which require more IOPS going onto PowerStore. And talking about data-intensive workloads, this customer, a global engineering company, standardized completely on VxRail, VCF on VxRail, as well as plain vanilla VxRail. The customer needed reliable, high-performing, high-capacity storage to run a data-intensive application with low compute requirements and with a high-capacity requirement, all being run on highly available storage. They have 6 virtual machines that each use up 26 terabytes of storage. And running this on VxRail would have required too many additional nodes due to the high capacity requirements. In came PowerStore with Appson to complement this environment, providing this workload with the required capacity, all at less than 0.75 milliseconds of latency, enabling their goal to reduce their data center footprint. And last, the University of Pisa uses PowerStore with Appson as part of an HPC environment that is used for scientific instrument calibration as part of a COVID-19 investigation. They were looking for high-performing storage that would complement their VMware environment with local compute in order to reduce footprint while maintaining high performance and high capacity requirements. In summary, PowerStore with Appson is ideal for edge and robo use cases due to a small form factor, a dual node HA config with shared storage, all without an external witness. It's ideal for data intensive workloads that have high capacity requirement. And last, PowerStore with Appson complements VxRail in having vSphere standardization for operational simplicity. Next, we're going to talk about how PowerStore has an integration with vSphere and makes that available within the PowerStore manager. In this demo, we show this exact integration. So creating and managing VMs on PowerStore with Appson still happens through vCenter, just like any other virtualized ESX environment. Having said that, the PowerStore manager is aware of these VMs and offers great visibility into VMs either running on PowerStore's local compute or leveraging storage from PowerStore. Users can easily see the capacity, performance, and utilization of the PowerStore cluster while also having complete view of these virtual machines running on PowerStore with the ability to get metrics at the individual VM level. Here, I'm looking at all my virtual machines running on PowerStore with information such as the guest operating system, CPU and memory count and utilization, and capacity metrics easily visible. I can click on a specific virtual machine and see its capacity utilization and trending with the ability to zoom into a specific time period. I can look at the compute utilization and performance for this VM running on the PowerStore's local nodes. I can look at the storage performance, tracking closely the VM storage metrics such as IOPS, bandwidth, and latency for the specific vBalls that make up this VM. And if I want to actually see the individual vBalls that make up a VM, I can easily see that as well with the ability to see individual vBall granularity. As you can see, the PowerStore integration with VMware is built into its very DNA. New in the PowerStore 2.0 release is vSphere host awareness. In talking to customers, we hear that they are either both the storage admin and the vSphere admin and have to jump between screens to try and match things together, or they are separate storage and vSphere admins within their organization and can't talk the same language. As part of this visibility, a user can now see the correlation between a PowerStore host and how it correlates to a vSphere host. For example, I can see that a host added in the PowerStore manager known as my ESXi is actually known as .107 in vSphere. As PowerStore is also VM aware, you can then see for the VM using the PowerStore capacity, which vSphere host they are running on, enabling a full end-to-end view directly from the PowerStore manager, which is exactly what I'm seeing here. That this virtual machine named Windows 2019 Base is running on this host known as .252 in the vSphere LAN. Thanks for joining. And if you want to learn more about the integrations that PowerStore has with VMware, please follow any of the links in this last slide. Thank you.